Hello and a very warm welcome to each one of you. And today we are moving ahead with chapter number 17, wherein we are going to explore the universe of ideas and experience and expand your references and expand your life. Um, Today is the last day that we have. This is a final session for chapter number 17, and I'm super excited that we have come so far. Let me very quickly start sharing the screen so that we can read together. The universe of ideas and experiences. In expanding our references, we create a great contrast with which we evaluate life and possibility. If you have been magnifying your problems out of proportion, consider this. We live in a galaxy that contains several 100,000 million stars. Then realize that we live in a universe that has several 100,000 million galaxies. In other words, there are several 100,000 million suns in our galaxy alone. And all of these suns have planets revolving around them as well. Think of the magnitude. The stars in our galaxy make one turn around the Milky Way's axis only once every several million years, 100 million years. When you think about the immensity of this universe and then look at lifespan of an average human being, generously about 80 years, does it give you a different perspective? The human lifespan is just a speck in time, and yet people worry themselves to death about things like how they are going to pay the mortgage, what kind of car they drive, or how their next business meeting will go. I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journey work of the stars, says Walt Whitman. I'm always trying to expand and improve my references because I believe in the old computer term GIGO, that is, garbage in, garbage out. Each day that we live, we are taking in new information, ideas, concepts, experiences, and sensations. We need to consciously stand guard at the door of our minds to make sure that whatever we are allowing to enter will cause our lives to be enriched, that the experiences we pursue will add to our stockpile of possibility. In assisting our children to expand and grow, we need to guide them into experiences that will provide positive references for their future, references that will help them know they are capable of dealing with virtually anything. Simultaneously, we need to teach them what to watch out in for life, for in life. Certain references denigrate our experiences of life. Are you a little bit concerned when you hear music like that of a Ghetto Boys? One of their recent songs is a rap song about cutting a girl's throat, then having sex with her corpse. Do you think this kind of reference repeated again and again, not just in children's mind, but in anybody's, would be a little bit destructive? I'm not saying that someone's going to hear this and then go out and do it. I am just saying that it's trash. Does that mean I'm promoting censorship? Absolutely not. I think one of the beauties of our country is freedom, but I think that you and I, as leaders, have the right and responsibility to know what references mean and the impact they can have on the quality of our lives. All right. So before we go on to the next, this thing, uh, part of what we are going to read today, sorry. So Tony Robbins, reminds us that the world around us is a massive library. And massive library किस चीज की? Experience की, ideas की, stories की. And the more we explore, the richer our mind becomes. Every book, every person, every conversation, every challenge adds to our library of references that shape who we become. तो हमारे को when we expose you know when we expose ourselves with new ideas and experiences, we literally expand our identity. And when we limit ourselves to one way of living or thinking, our reference pool becomes tiny, and so does our life. Also, we need to understand what kind of references do we want to give to ourselves. There are multiple, मतलब यहाँ पर तो इंग्लिश सॉन्ग के बारे में बात हो रही है, बट हिंदी सॉन्ग्स, पंजाबी सॉन्ग्स में, रैप में बहुत सारे किस्म के ऐसे रैप्स हैं, तो which can give us negative references, that are not very empowering references. So we have to be very watchful, very conscious of what kind of things are we taking in. ठीक है, अगर एग्जाम्पल देखा जाए कि अगर if a homemaker who never traveled starts volunteering at the local NGOs and meet inspiring women, क्या होने वाला है? Suddenly her world view, her self image is going to grow. I've seen women who have not. So, for that matter, even I had never ever in my life traveled alone until in 2022 or 2023, I think. I traveled to Bangalore for my mentor's retreat for the first time. That was 2023. And that gave me such expansion. Why? Because हम लोग जब किसी के साथ जाते हैं, अपने हस्बैंड के साथ, अपने बच्चों के साथ, वी लीव एवरीथिंग ऑन देम कि हाँ जहां जहां चल रहे हैं पीछे पीछे चलते रहो. यू डोंट इवन लुक अराउंड कि व्हाट आर यू सपोज टू डू. यू आर नॉट एट ऑल अलर्ट. एंड द मोमेंट यू ट्राई समथिंग न्यू अलोन, you have to become alert. You expand your horizons, you expand your self growth, self image, and आपको दुनिया देखने को मिलती है. I know a mother who always believed that she cannot do business. And I suggested her a few podcasts of successful mom entrepreneurs, and she started listening to them. That single exposure to listening something that can be so transformative changed her belief system, and now she is also doing her business. This is the level of expansion that happens. जब हम ऑटोबायोग्राफीज पढ़ते हैं, जब हम वर्कशॉप्स अटेंड करते हैं, उससे क्या होता है? इट एड्स अप न्यू रेफरेंसेस. इट shows us कि what are the new possibilities beyond हमारी current environment. I still remember when I went to the MMI in 2025 January. It was such an expansive experience for me. क्यों? क्योंकि I had never been in such an environment wherein there was so much being taught. I had never sat with myself just exploring what is inside of me. And when I was guided towards these actions, I felt so liberated. I felt so expanded that until मतलब कि next 6 months, I was unstoppable, I would say. I was working, and I was so committed. All of a sudden, हाँ, थोड़ा सा ऐसे dips, and so this journey is not about always going rocket high. ना हमेशा ग्राफ ऐसे नहीं रहने वाला. It is going to go down and up and down and up. But for the 6 months consistently, the graph was going up and up and up. In fact, 7 months, July, August तक मेरा ऐसे ही रहा है. Right? January beginning में I attended this session, and July mid around तक मेरा ऐसा ही ग्राफ रहा. And then thereafter, of course, some dip came, and now I'm going upwards again. So, but this is possible only because I had heard so many people talking about what has happened in their life and how they have expanded. What I would love for you to reflect on is what new ideas, what kind of new people or experiences can you invite into your life this month to expand your mental universe. हमारे को कुछ ना कुछ तो ऐसा करना पड़ेगा ना. We cannot stay at the same space in the same environment at all times and expect ourselves to grow and expand. So check for yourself कि आप ऐसा क्या कर सकते हो, ऐसे कौन से नए लोगों से मिल सकते हो, या फिर what are the ideas that are coming to your head and जिसको आप apply करना शुरू कर सकते हो. And make them your references, क्योंकि ये वाले references इकट्ठे करने बहुत ज्यादा important है. I would love for you to, एक activity करते हैं, the universal map. Draw a circle in your journal and name it as my world. I'll also do this along with you. Let's do this. Draw a circle and name it as my world. Now, as you have drawn this circle, I would love for you to add the name of people, books, ideas, and experiences that currently influence you. क्या क्या लिखोगे? Books, people, ideas, and experiences जो आपको अभी की टाइम पे इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं. Once you have done that, I would love for you to draw 3 more circles, छोटे छोटे, ठीक है, और number them as 1 2 3, और उसके अंदर add the new experiences that you would like to explore this month. We are in October, 6th October है, तो write the new experiences that you would like to explore this month. For example, maybe you want to go for a retreat, maybe you want to go for some financial literacy workshop, maybe you want to travel solo, maybe you want to learn a new skill. See for yourself what is it that you want to do and write it in that circle. And it is a target for you that you do these 3. Because जब जब हम अपने आप को छोटे छोटे टास्क और छोटे छोटे न्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस देते जाते हैं, हमारा एक्सपेंशन होना शुरू हो जाता है. We start experiencing the world in a new way. So yes, let's write the 3 experiences that you would like to explore this month. I hope you have done that. Hi, Madhulika. Thank you for joining in. Are you with us or you are in some session? Chalo, let's move forward to the next topic that we are going to read today. That is expand your references and expand your life. We can always use whatever life has to offer in an empowering way, but we have to do it proactively. The choices I have in my life come from a rich set of reference experiences that I have consciously pursued on an ongoing basis. Each day, I look for ways to expand. Into my 31 years, I have packed literally hundreds of years of experience. How can I say that? The number of challenging and enriching experiences that I have in a month relates more closely to what most people experience over the period of years. One of the major ways I began to do this, starting at the age of 17, was through the rich experience that books provide. Early in my life, I developed the belief that leaders are readers. Books could take me to other land where I could meet unique people like Abraham Lincoln or Ralph Waldo Emerson, whom I could utilize as my personal coaches. I also knew that within the pages of books, I could find the answers to virtually any question I had. This breadth of references that hundreds of books have given me has provided countless choices for how I can assist people. I pursued these references because I realized that if I did not feed my mind with the nourishment it craved, then I would have to settle for the intellectual junk food that could be found in the nightly sound bites or the television news or through the opinions of the newspapers. If this is our major source of information, then we can expect to get the same results as everyone else in the society does. The more powerful way to have a great understanding of life in people, to give ourselves the greatest level of choice, is to expose ourselves to as many different type of references as possible. In my youth, I have inspired to seek spiritual understanding when I realized that I have attended only one church and been exposed to only one religious philosophy for the majority of my life. In high school, I received a scholarship in journalism to attend a 2-week program held in California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo. On that Sunday, we were all given the assignment to write a story about a church service. As we began to walk through the community deciding where we would go, I found myself gravitating towards the church of my denomination. But along the way, I heard several of my friends talking about the Mormon church we had just passed and how horrible those people were. It seemed to me that people just aren't that deplorable. I had to see what was going on. So I attended the service and I saw the Mormons loved God as much as I did. The only difference was that they had a few rules that varied slightly from my own. This started my spiritual odyssey, which developed into a personal ritual for almost a year and a half. Throughout my 18th and 19th year, 2 or 3 times a month, I would attend a totally different type of worship. Lutheran, Catholic, Baptist, Episcopalian, Methodist, Jewish, Buddhist, and so on. Oh my God, so many kinds. As a result of this, I truly began to live at a more spiritual level where I began to appreciate all people's spiritual beliefs. Even if I didn't subscribe to their particular rules or perceptions, I had a much broader base of understanding and compassion as a result. If you want to expand your life, go for it. Pursue some experiences that you have never had before. Go scuba diving, explore the undersea world, and find out what life's like and what you are like in a whole new environment. Go skydiving when you are sitting on the edge of the plane, 12,500 feet in the air, and you know you are going to fall for an entire minute at 120 miles an hour. To get yourself out of that plane requires absolute faith. You don't know what faith is until you have this reference. Go take that helicopter lesson. I assure you it will change your life forever. Take 4 days and go to racing school. You will learn more about limits and possibilities than you could imagine. Go spend an evening at a symphony if it's not something you usually do, or a rock concert if that's what you habitually avoided. Expand your level of choice. One day, spontaneously go by a children's hospital during visiting hours. Go meet some strangers and tell them some stories. The challenge to develop rapport and find a way to touch others' lives will change you forever. Maybe it's time to immerse yourself in another culture and see the world through the other's eyes. Maybe it's time to visit Fiji and celebrate a kava ceremony with the locals. Or take part in the ride along program at your local police department, where you sit in the backseat of the petrol car and see your community through the officer's eye. Remember, if we want to understand and appreciate people, one of the most powerful ways is to share some of their references. Perhaps it's time to go back to school to explore the inner universe is the in the form of biology and psychology, and understand our culture better through the study of sociology and anthropology. Remember, any limits that you have in your life are probably just the results of limited preferences. Expand your references and you will immediately expand your life. While the possibilities I have touched on are exciting and inspiring, they are offered to get your juices flowing. You don't have to do all of them or any of them in order to gain new references. You don't have to go on a safari in Africa. You can just go around the corner and help a homeless person in your own community discover resources of their own that they never knew existed. Whole worlds open up when with the addition of just one new reference. It could be one thing you see or hear, a conversation or a movie or a seminar, something you read on a very next page. You never know when it may happen. The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. Now let's take inventory of some of the most powerful references that have shaped your life. Take a moment now and write down 5 of the most powerful experiences that have shaped who you have become as a person. Give not only a description of the experience, but how that experience impacted you. If you write down anything that seems to have impacted you negatively, immediately come up with another interpretation of that event, no matter what it takes. This may require some faith. It may require a new perspective you never would have considered before. Remember, everything in life happens for a reason and a purpose, and it serves us. Sometimes it takes years or decades for us to find value, but there is value in all human experience. I would love for you to do this as well. This is a very powerful and a beautiful exercise. Maybe you can take a screenshot of this and do this after this session as well. But what we need to understand is कि जब तक हम अपनी कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर जाके नहीं कुछ एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, हमारा एक्सपेंशन पॉसिबल नहीं है. We will not understand the limits that we have, the possibilities that we can have, unless and until we do something unusual every single day. हम कोई book, for that matter, yesterday only I received this book. This is a very powerful book, Story Brand, Building a Story Brand. And I sat and started reading this book, and I was feeling so um so the things that have been shared in this book were different from how coaches tell them. And I immediately, focused on every sentence जो वो बोल रहा है, how can I implement it in my life? See, the thing is कि हमारे को जितनी मर्जी नॉलेज होते जाए, it is of no use at all. नॉलेज को अगर हम साथ साथ इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करना शुरू कर रहे हैं, then it is just waste of time. Knowledge is not going to take us anywhere. जब तक हम जहां पर भी हैं, अगर हमारे को समझ में आ गया, our expansion is possible only when we dive into some uncomfortable zones, we try something new, तभी होने वाला है. तो what should we be waiting for? अगर हम नहीं कर रहे हैं, then I think we need to ask what is stopping you, क्योंकि उसकी जड़ तक पहुंचना बहुत जरूरी, बहुत जरूरी. जब तक आप अपनी रूट्स को मेंड नहीं करोगे, तब तक आप फ्रूट्स अच्छे वाले नहीं खा पाओ. Let's complete this read, and then I'll tell you a few things or more. As you review this list of all the events that have positively shaped your life, I want you to think about some new references that would be very valuable for you to pursue. Oh, ये तो हमने अभी last exercise में किया ही है. We have written 3 experiences that we want to experience, and I would love for you to start working on them. What are some new experiences you need? A good question might be, in order to really succeed at a higher level, to achieve what I really want for my life, what are some references I need? I repeat that. In order to really succeed at the highest level, to achieve what I really want for my life, what are some references I need? Maybe what you need to do is model somebody who has really made their relationship work. Find out what some of their beliefs are, what some of their references are about what makes a relationship work. Or maybe you just need to seek out references from that make you appreciate life more and that makes you feel like you are contributing. Now think of some fun references to have. Maybe you don't need them, but think of some that would be entertaining or would just make you feel good. I began to study martial arts because I knew what an incredible set of state the discipline would provide. I earned my black belt in no do in 8 months by studying directly with the great Grandmaster Jun Ri and modeling his incredibly intense focus. I realized that if I could have the experience of disciplining myself so fiercely in that area of my life, then that reference could spill over to many other areas. And it did. So, what else could you do? So, I have seen that when I started, posting, सबसे पहले मेरी life में first time when I experienced consistency was when I started doing Insta lives. So, I was working with one of the mentors at that time, and she suggested me कि Karishma, वो business mentor थी, and she suggested me, Karishma, why don't you go and start doing Insta lives? And I was like, Insta live? Oh my God, कितनी बड़ी बात हो जाएगी. I don't even know how to do it. And she said, कि चल take it as a challenge and do 4 Insta lives. And I was like, oh, okay. So the first time I went for the Insta live, I did not even know कि Insta live on भी हुआ है कि नहीं. And I had told my parents कि मैं जब Instagram पे live जाऊंगी, at least you please join so that I have some cheering up, so that I don't feel awkward कि अकेले बैठ के मैं क्या बोले जा रही हूँ. And I started off with this Insta live, and मैं बोले जा रही हूँ, and I'm seeing कि मम्मी पापा is also not joining. And then I called my daughter and I told her कि यहाँ नानी नानू भी नहीं आ रहे हैं. What is wrong? And then she told me, Mommy, you need to click this button to go live. And then I was like, oh shit, ठीक है. That is how I went live for the first time. But when I saw for the first time, it was the reference for me कि हाँ, अगर मैं एक बार जा सकती हूँ, दूसरी बार भी जा सकती हूँ. I went live. I went live another day, another week, another week, and another week. After 4 weeks, I decided, nahi, at least six to bante hi hain. And thereafter, I kept on going at least for 1 year, and I never stopped. And that was such a massive reference for me. Ki yes, I can. If I commit, I can go live every week. वहां से देन आई स्टार्टेड ऑफ विद द बुक रीडिंग क्लब. पहले मैंने आई स्टार्टेड पोस्टिंग ऑन इंस्टाग्राम. आई विल पोस्ट एवरी सिंगल डे नो मैटर व्हाट. एक हफ्ते में एक इंस्टा लाइव एंड देन पोस्टिंग एवरी डे. एंड आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग दैट. दैट वाज अनदर लेवल ऑफ कमिटमेंट दैट आई वाज गोइंग ऑन टू. एंड वहां से देन आई सेड कि अगर मैं हर रोज ये कर सकती हूँ तो आई थिंक आई कैन डू हर रोज बुक रीडिंग क्लब एज वेल. एंड वहां से बुक रीडिंग क्लब एक बार दिन में कर सकती हूँ. से आई चैलेंज माई सेल्फ टू गो ऑन ट्वाइस. But this has made a big reference for me in my life. If I commit to anything, I can actually do it. And consistency is something that I have as a superpower in me. Now, अब ये मेरा belief बन चुका है कि yes, if I want, I can be super consistent at whatever I want. ठीक है. And if I am not consistent with something, then the question needs to be answered. Ki what is it that is stopping me? Okay, that is how you build references in your life. This is just one area. आपको देखने कि आप हर जगह पर अपने आप को ग्रो करने के लिए क्या रेफरेंसेस क्रिएट कर सकते हो. Once you have brainstormed a list of great references to acquire, put a timeline and a date on each. Decide when you are going to do every one. When are you going to learn to speak Spanish or Greek or Japanese? When are you going to take that hot air balloon ride? When are you going to go to the local old folks home and sing carols? When are you going to do something unusual and new? What are some references you could provide for your family that would be invaluable? Maybe it is taking your kids to the Smithsonian's. Maybe it is something as simple as sitting down and talking about the references that the family has already shared, or getting together with some of the grandparents and talking about their lives and what they have learned. What invaluable references these 60, 70, 80, and 90 plus old people have for those of us who are younger. One of the most powerful references I have shared with my family is delivering Thanksgiving dinner to those who cannot or will not visit shelters. I will never forget my youngest son's reaction when he was 4 years old. It was Jarek's first time participation, and he went to the park of Oceanside, California. We found the old man who was sleeping on the floor on the bathroom with no doors, trying to cover himself with old clothes he had found in the trash cans. My son marveled at his very long beard and was a little bit scared. I handed Jarek the basket of food and other survival goodies and said, "Go on, give it, give it to this man and wish him happy Thanksgiving." Jarek approached cautiously. As he went into the bathroom with the basket that was as big as he was, he set it down gently. The man looked like he was either drunk or asleep. Jarek touched the man and said, "Happy Thanksgiving." All of a sudden, the man bolted upright and grabbed my son's hand. My heart leaped into my throat. And just as I started to spring forward, the man took Jerry's hand and kissed it. He whispered hoarsely, "Thank you for caring." Boy, what a reference for a 4-year-old. Remember, it's a moment of our lives that shape us. I still remember when on our birthdays, this is what my mom used to do as well. She would buy either socks, or she would buy umbrellas, or she would buy blankets or shoes, something, something, something on our birthdays, and we would go on the streets to see who needs them. And when we would give them and she made it a point कि आप अगर किसी को सॉक्स दे रहे हो तो यू आर नॉट जस्ट गिविंग, यू आर पुटिंग इट ऑन देयर फीट. शूज दे रहे हो तो शूज ट्राई करो, उनको शूज आ रहे हैं कि किसी और को आएगा, इसको किसी और को योर साइज आएगा. And that was such a beautiful reference that I keep on telling my kids about it, and I keep on telling कि हम भी चलेंगे. um it's sad that I have not been able to do that so far, but uh, I remember that I used to buy biscuits and I used to go with my kids कि चलो देके आते हैं. But I have not done something like, physically actually उसको जुराब पहनाना, जूता पहनाना, blanket ओढ़ना किसी के ऊपर. I have not done that so far. But that was an experience in its own way that humbled us, that helped us understand the problems people might be going through. It was never, matlab, theek hai, we were not like, because we were from the service class as well. My mom and dad both are in the were in the government jobs. तो जितना भी था, बेशक 10 जोड़े हमने बांटे हो, पर it was always, it touched us. There were times when we would leave the place with tears. There were times when we had stories, to share. घर आके we would sit and talk कि how this child was so happy, how the child was asking for, मेरे को पिंक नहीं, मेरे को येलो चाहिए, मेरे को ब्लू चाहिए, मेरे को ये चाहिए, मेरे को वो चाहिए, and it was good time. Remember, it's the moment of our lives that shape us. It's up to us to pursue and create the moments that will lift us and not limit us. So now get off the bench and step into the game of life. Let your imagination run wild with the possibilities of all those things you could explore and experience, and begin immediately. What new experiences could you pursue today that would expand your life? What kind of person will you become? Take action and enjoy exploring the possibilities. Let's discover the profound change that comes from identity, the key to expansion. This was the end of this chapter, but सोचने की जो बात है वो ये है कि हमारे को अपने आप को एक्सपैंड करने के लिए क्या चाहिए. हमारी लाइफ जो होती है वो एक्सपैंड्स इन डायरेक्ट प्रोपोर्शन to the references that we build around it. If we have references, if our references are full of failure, hurt, self-doubt, so we will live that way. We will have a smaller vision. We will not live expansive life. And if our references are full of resilience, courage, inspiration, तो हमारा जो कॉन्फिडेंस है ना वो मल्टीप्लाई करेगा. नाउ अगर हमने इसी चैप्टर में पहले भी बात करी है कि ये जो रेफरेंसेस हैं ये सिर्फ हमारे को अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस से नहीं मिलते हैं, हमारे को बुक्स एंड मैगजीन से, मेंटोर्स से, कोचेस से, हर जगह से मिल सकते हैं. आर वी रेडी टू एक्सप्लोर देम इज द की, is the main this thing. The key to consciously create empowering references every single day. Every single day we have to find. So I know for a fact कि कुछ दिन there were days in between wherein I was so demotivated and I did not really want to do anything at all. And what I did was I downloaded lots and lots of video games in my phone and I was just playing those video games. And when we started reading these references wala chapter, I realized कि यार मैं क्या कर रही हूँ? Why am I wasting my time and energy on doing just playing video games on the phone? I immediately deleted them and I started downloading the apps of the mentors that मतलब बड़े सारे courses जो मैंने लिए हुए हैं, and about the people who inspire me as well, and I started again to listen to them. And I realized that now I am at a different, mindset. अगर कोई lady है who feels afraid to speak up in family discussions and she decides to share her opinion once a day, what kind of expansion do you think will happen? Because हमारे घर में भी कुछ ऐसा माहौल था. this is nobody else but me. And I never gave any suggestions. I never, I was never a person who would say anything, anything. I would not participate in any discussions, anything. And when I started working on myself, I decided कि नहीं, I also have a voice and I also want to share what I have in my mind. Maybe it might help them. Not that it was not accepted, but I felt respected as well. And now, after these 2, 3 years, I see that they're actually waiting for my suggestions as well. Sometimes we just have to break our own barriers, our own patterns of thinking, our own beliefs about certain people, and we see a lot of expansion. This is what I wanted to share. Something that I would love for you to reflect here is कि what new empowering references are you willing to build from today onwards, that will support um, your fulfilled life? हम सबके पास एक विजन है, हम सबके पास एक ड्रीम है that we want to live. वो कौन से references we need to have so that we can achieve it? और आप इनमें से क्या स्टार्ट कर सकते हो आज से is something that I would love for you to think about. That's it. That was chapter number 17, references, the fabric of life. समझ में ये आता है कि when we consciously collect the empowering references, that can be through reading, connections, gratitude, learning, mentors, coaches, we design our inner world. The reality is shaped not by what happens to us, but by the references we choose to focus on. So, जब जब आप expand करोगे अपने references, you are going to expand your life. That's it from my end. Madhulika, if you are there with us, I would love to hear something from you, if there is something that you would like to share. All right. All right. Take good care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with chapter number 18 that talks about identity. And of course, if you are here today in the morning, Madhulika, I'm expecting you to be there in the evening session as well. See you tonight. God bless you. Take good care of yourself and lots and lots and lots of love. Bye bye.